And blessings, everyone. Welcome back again as we continue on our journey of having the conversation of how behaviors, expressions, the way we function with each other, how that does or does not allow us to have wonderful, harmonious, peaceful relationships, how it detracts from our capacity to have great family um, environments, greater community environments, and ultimately better work conditions. So today we're going to, uh, you know, speak about justice. Okay, when I say, and let me just say this: when I say hetepu, it means peace and blessings. That is one of the ancient Kemetic words which allows us to extend peace to each other. And also, in that particular culture that was given to us by our ancestors, when we do like this, we say Ankenhete. This is the sign of the divinity Ausar. This is live in peace. Okay? It means everlasting peace. And that is what I mean when I say we were created with the capacity to be peaceful, harmonious from within. And when we are like that within, we express that to the world. So today we're going to talk about what is just or justice. In regular words, that means being fair. To children, when they say, it's not fair, or when an adult say, what is being said or done is unfair to me. It's a part of justice. So justice, as a word, does not necessarily convey all of what we mean in the fullness of the capacity. Justice on a level one-to-one between human beings, husband and wife, it means I feel as if, or I believe that the things that you have done or said are not fair to me, right? They're unjust. They diminish me. They take away from me. But the truth of the matter is no one can really diminish you, because if you understand how you are created and how you're made up, right? Your capacity is infinite. There's nothing you cannot achieve. There's nothing you cannot change. There's nothing that you cannot come into the knowing of. And you need to also understand is that you're connected to everything in life. That is what is known as the omnipresence of the divine, of the supreme being. It is within all of us. We're all connected. All 8+ billion of us. We're all interconnected because we are breathing the one breath, right? The one spirit. So injustice happens in a relationship when one or another party believes that decisions many times have been made in a one-sided way, right? I decide that I want to get new furniture, as an example, but I don't discuss it with my husband, okay? And so what I do is one day, the furniture shows up at the house. And then the conversation or the question is, how did this happen? There was no discussion with the husband. So in all fairness to him, he has the right to ask the question. So that is one way. Another way that injustice occurs is the boundaries that we overstep. So for instance, friend comes to you or another family member comes to you and tells you a story about someone. And what you do is you say, yeah, I hear you. You're right. I know what you mean. Do you really? Do you really know what they mean? Were you there when whatever they're relaying to you was going on? The only way for you to know, truly know, is to be present when the sequence of events are going on, when whatever it is that is occurring is visible to you and you are privy to the conversation or the happening between the parties. Other than that, you cannot say that you know. And that also is another way in which we are unjust or unfair. Plus, in the way of the world, they say, keep your nose out of other people's business. Okay? And then another way in which injustice occurs is the taking of advantage of others. Someone is not as strong as you are. Someone may be physically weaker. Someone may not be as, quote unquote, financially adept as you are, or may not have as many material things, and you feel that you have the right, and so forth, you take advantage and diminish that person further. In the ancient Kemetic and Nubian way, Ma'at, you see her on every courthouse just about in the world. She's that woman with the blindfold. Justice is blind, meaning justice is based on truth, not on conjecture, not on you being unfair to others, not on you overstepping your bounds, not on you not knowing the facts, not on you not knowing what is right. So, another way it happens right on the ground in your home, it could be that you are showing favoritism towards your children, one over another. You don't buy clothes for one, you buy clothes for the other. It also could be as much as the food is on the table and you allow yourself or others to eat it all and leave none for other family members. Okay? In interfering in the private matters of others with respect to the whole thing of boundaries is also considered injustice, because by you vocalizing things that you don't know, you actually can injure other parties. So the best thing to do is to reserve judgment, is to reserve speech, and to say, I do not know. I have heard of this, but I do not know, so therefore I cannot collaborate or support what it is that you are saying. The next thing is that we oftentimes have this belief that we are better than other persons. And by better, I mean that we are above them. So when you think that you're better than another person, that is a thinking error. And such errors often leads to problems. Ask yourself the question, if you are in a relationship with your husband and wife, your husband is making more money than you are, your wife is making more money, and that person believes that they should be the ones to make all the decision. They're above you because they bring in more money to the house. Money does not make us who we are. The thing about it is the preservation of the relationship is required, is dependent on each person feeling that they are an equal partner. There are things that happen in a relationship that transcends money, and that's something that you need to also understand. Know that your worth and value has nothing to do with how much money you make. Justice also happens on a societal level. We have so many things going on in our societies, various cultures of the world, in which the system is unjust. So for instance, in this country of America, the statistics, the facts show that 80% of those incarcerated are people from the Black community, especially the males. The injustice of it is that many of them did not commit the crime that they are being incarcerated for. And so some really brave people did something called the Innocence Project, and through that found out that many men and women who were incarcerated for decades, years and decades, did not commit murder, did not do the things they were saying, and they had to be released. Unfortunately, some people did not like that. Another way in which this is manifested is that those who are responsible for creating charges, it is a well-known fact that many of those who are DAs and so forth, they say, we're not interested in the truth. We are interested in having a conviction. In Ma'atian law, or under Ma'atian law, I'm saying, and even in our ancestral way, that was not acceptable. because justice must also abide within it truth. The truth must be told, because when you are truthful, then you are just. And when you are just, you are fair. And when you are fair, you will do that which is right. And so today we have a situation in this country in which many, many people are seeing injustice, and as a result in it is escalating. And it does the same in families. When you're not fair, when you're unjust, it escalates. So consider the impact on your mate, your spouse, and children when you are often left to the ravages of the street, as in the case of those who are incarcerated, the males, the mothers who cannot fend for their children. They're left to the world. Those children are often put in foster care, and I have worked with many of them. We must understand that that is not a part of the human process that the divine intended for us. Finally, I want to speak about jealousy and envy as injustice. Oftentimes we look at others with gifts and talents, and one of the things we say, I wish I had that person's gift or that talent, or I should have it and not him or her. What I'm saying to you is that in close relationships, when jealousy and envy is in operation, it will ultimately destroy the relationship, because either the person who is perpetually instigating or pushing jealousy or envy will never be satisfied. It really reflects a lack within the person, right? Not the person they're envying, but within them. And that is something that one needs to get to the bottom of. In friendship relationships, it will never work. Okay, that behavior is tantamount to what is called inferior behavior, or some people would say that's evil behavior, or in some countries they say that's wicked behavior. Okay, nothing healthy can come of that. And so if you go back to our session on meditation, the creation of wisdom seeds can really help you to purge that kind of thinking. I'm better than this one. I'm jealous or envious of this person or that person or my husband or me. I have to compete. We never have to compete with each other. All of that are under the enclave of injustice. So in our next session, we will talk about how the perspective, the mindset, the thought processes, how we need to pattern our cognitive processes in order that we may be better able to think and reflect before we speak, before we act, before we go against, our innate self, and before we go against our own destinies, our purpose in this life. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I do so appreciate it, and I hope that the things that we are sharing with you today will actually help you to create a better, more peaceful, a more harmonious and enduring life. Peace and blessings. Hetepu.